We are going to be starting our cook along series, and tonight we are doing 2 recipes. So you could be cooking along and learning how to make a grilled pizza using your double burner grill pan. So Louise Morris is going to be making that in her kitchen. Now the second technique is to use your stone, but we're not making our traditional pizza. We're making a tomato galette, and that'll be Diana McDermott from Virginia who's going to do that. And then through the miracle of Zoom and TV, I'm going to be doing a little bit of prep work in my kitchen and teaching you a couple techniques. So the whole idea is we want to help you to do kitchen show lives, whether they're going to happen in people's kitchens or in your own kitchen and taking video. So we're going to get started with Louise first.
Okay. Hey, all right, guys.
I'm just gonna read.
Just checked it, but it was good.
Are we good? Okay, so
We
the
are.
pizza that I will be making tonight is an old Pampered Chef recipe, and it's called a grilled Mediterranean flatbread pizza. And I love this pizza. You can, I'm sure you got the list of ingredients, and I'm actually making it a vegetarian style and omitting the chicken sausage. But I have made this at cooking parties many years ago.
Hey,
Using
that's a
chicken sausage. Tonight I'm just going to eliminate it. So to get started, we need to grill the pizza dough first of all. What I like about this recipe is it's with a Pillsbury crust because it's a rectangle and our double burner grill pan is a rectangle. So it works absolutely perfect. And back in the day, I think everything I cooked at cooking parties, it needed some sort of pizza or some sort of Pillsbury, whether it was crescent dough or the pizza dough. So I'm going to be using the large grooved, let's see if it goes my basil, the large grooved cutting board. And for those that don't know, the one side does have this well here to catch any of your juices if you're cutting meats or watermelons or anything juicy. I'm just going to use the flat side. And it also has the measurements on here with the rubber grip, which is really nice. So to get started, I am going to use my powdered sugar shaker. This is the new one, you guys. I love it. It's so retro looking, right? And in here, I have some cornmeal or corn flour or whatever you want to call it. And we're just going to sprinkle that on the cutting board generously. Now, the reason you're using this is for 2 reasons. It'll help prevent your dough from sticking, but also it gives it a nice crunch. It gives your pizza dough a nice texture to it. In the meantime, I do have my double burner grill pan, which I'll talk about in a second. Have it on my stove over here heating up because you want to get that nice and hot. Let me pop open my pizza dough. Whack it, there you go. And I'm going to be using, to roll it out, our one-handed baker's roller, which is also a great back massager. Actually, one day after running, I had a cramp in my butt, and it's a good butt roller. Just kidding. All right, we're going to unroll our pizza dough. And you're just going to want to roll it with the baker's roller to the same size as the grill pan. So it doesn't take much to roll it out. You just need to kind of make it a little bit wider and a little bit longer. Just like that. Next step is you can also just stretch it once you get it in the grill pan, so you don't want to get it too big. The next step is a little bit of oil. You want to baste the dough. And I'm just going to use our silicone basting brush. What I love about these, you guys, for those that don't know, made out of silicone, so you don't have those hairs that mat together and get all stuck together. And it's super easy to clean this. The little bristles don't come out like in the kind that comes with the hairs. And it has this handy dandy little thing that'll go on your bowl. So I love this. So you're just going to want to baste your pizza dough with a little bit of this oil. And then you're gonna wanna sprinkle. Where did I put my baker roller? Here we go. I mean, my powdered sugar shaker. A little bit more of the cornmeal on here. And we're now gonna go over to my stove. A little bit more oil. And I'm gonna turn my phone around. So give me 2 seconds. Here we are. So here I have my double burner grill pan. Let me just get out some little things so I don't burn myself. Right here, pick it up so y'all can see it, and I've got it heating up. So this sucker, for those that don't know, is the best investment that you can make. I use this for so many different things. Burgers, chicken, I've done sausage, peppers and onions, fajitas. I've even done cinnamon rolls, the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls on here, paninis. So it does hold 2. I don't need the press, but it does accommodate 2 of our grill presses. And this, you guys, is great for making paninis. Makes the absolute best panini sandwiches. Love this thing. Now, when I'm cooking my chicken breasts, usually just the chicken breast for myself, I heat this up with the grill pan. So you're gonna wanna heat the grill press along with the grill pan. So when you add your chicken, it'll cook on both sides. So isn't that cool? Now, this is made out of cast iron, so you're not supposed to wash it with soap and water, just like you don't wash your cast iron. All right, so this is an investment piece, so perfect to get hosts to host a party, get it for half off, and it will pay for itself after just using it once or twice. So I'm gonna baste this as well. You never wanna pour your oil directly onto the grill pan because it has the grooves, if you will. So the oil just gets on the bottom and it doesn't do any good to pour the oil on there, if that makes any sense. You want to baste it because you want the top part get all oil on there. Now, to get the dough from the cutting board to here, you fold it in half. This is a little trick. Put the one side down on that side, the other on here, and then I just pull it. Let me turn this up a little bit. I turned it down. Pull it and stretch it until it fits the perfect inside of the grill pan, just like that. Super duper easy. And it only takes about 3-4 minutes to cook on both sides. Don't mess with it. Once the one side is nice and toasted, then I flip it around, and I usually use a combination, oh, I left them over there, a combination of my 2 chef tongs to lift it and flip it. All right, so we're just let this cook. So Marie, I don't know if you wanted to go to Diane next, or you were gonna do my cheese next. So you wanted me to wait and flip it next?
No, Diana, right? Diana's next.
Yes, okay, great.
Okay, so, okay, I'm gonna pull you out
Okay.
and we are going to spotlight Miss Diana.
It's not, okay. Can you all hear me? Hello?
I hear you.
Yes. Okay, great. Well, I just want to introduce myself to those of you who may not know me. I am Diana McDermott, and I am in Northern Virginia and under Marie. And what we're doing today is, well, I never made this recipe before today, but I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie. I probably went to a show and never made that recipe before too. That's how easy this is. And yes, you can do this at a show. I think it's a great show recipe. But the first thing that I need to show you is how to make pesto, right? So this is actually a very easy recipe. And guess where I found it? Anybody guess? Yeah, It's
Pampered
the
Chef
crust
website.
basil pesto in Pampered Chef. So I'm just taking it and I tweak it a little bit because I usually don't measure, but I'm going to today. The first thing I wanted to show you is we still have this on the outlet, the salad berry spinner. You didn't know you were going to a spinning class today, did you? So I put I love this for strawberries, for any kind of lettuces or basil. So I went out to the garden and got a bunch of basil. I soaked it and then went ahead and spinned it real quick and just got all the extra water out. And we're using about 2 cups of fresh basil. And so the first thing you want to do is use our deluxe. Let me see if I can see it. This is a workhorse in anyone's kitchen. You can do so many different things with it. And I know Marie is going to show you how we did our cheese in here too. I don't know if this flip-flopping is working so good, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. I just put a block of Parmesan in here and turned it on. She's going to show you exactly how to do it. So the first thing you want to put in here is your liquids. So it's about, I love this little measuring cup. This is part of our children's measuring cup set. Yeah, get your kids in the kitchen early. They'll always love to eat a little bit more. So we're going to put that in. I also use the air fryer, which I wouldn't bring to a show, but I would talk about it. This little bit of pine nuts, you want to roast it a little bit for your pesto, and it was just easy to throw it into the air fryer for 5 minutes, and it toasted the pine nuts really nicely on a small bar pan. Isn't that so cute? And what I love about these is they go in dishwasher. Our stoneware now is so easy to clean and maintain, but it still has the same baking qualities as it always had. So I don't know if you actually could see it, but all those pine nuts were evenly roasted. And that's what's going to happen with the crust we're going to make later too on when we go to the other side. But go ahead. So I put the oil in, I put the pine nuts in, I'm going to throw the basil in, just really throw it all in there, right? Throw it all in there. And then we're going to get, nothing is complete without some fresh garlic, right? And you just want to throw it in. It calls for 1 clove, but if it says 1 clove, how many do you put in?
2.
At least, right? At least, right? Nothing.
Yeah.
If the recipe doesn't have garlic, I don't think it should be made. Garlic is so good for you. It's good for your cholesterol. It's good for your heart. It's good for so many different things. So use fresh garlic. Do not get the kind that you scoop out of a jar. It's filled with formaldehyde of sorts. It's food safe, but it's also a filler. Just like using fresh cheese. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So I'm just going to throw it in. I'm using our garlic roller that comes with the garlic set, because there's nothing like fresh garlic. Get yourself the garlic press, get yourself the roller, and then you never have to get the that stuff. I can't even say what it is because it just isn't garlic to me. Or if you shake it out of a bottle, not the same either. So we're just going to put it all in here, just like so. I don't know if you can see. And then I'm going to turn it on. And it takes about 3 minutes on custom. And I just put it on custom and ground it. So I am going to mute myself. This is about to get loud. We're going to turn it back over to Marie and then come back.
Thanks, Diane.
You're welcome.
So is everybody able to hear me? So I am their sous chef, and I am going to be prepping the tomatoes and the cheese for these ladies. So if you don't already know it, when you make tomatoes in a recipe, the tomatoes are very watery, right? So we want to remove the water from the tomatoes to cook with. So you have 3 methods. If you're making the tomato galette, the recipe says slice the tomatoes really thin, lay them on a double sheet of paper towels, and then salt them, and then put more paper towels on top and let the moisture wick out of there before you put the tomato slices on the pesto layer that's on the pizza. Now there's 2 other ways you can get your tomatoes ready. One of them is to de-seed them. So in the recipe that I'm making for Louise, we need to chop up the tomatoes, and the tomatoes need to be de-seeded before you chopped. Now, if you have a scoop loop, you could certainly use that. Another way is to cut your tomato, pretend it's Mother Earth, cut it across the equator, exposing all the seeds. Give it a squeeze and a quarter turn in your hand, and give it another squeeze. Look what happens. My tomato is de-seeded. So I will do it one more time.
Wow.
Squeeze,
Like
a
a
quarter
lemon.
turn, squeeze again, another de-seeded half. Look at how much juice I got from that one tomato. Pretty cool. Huh?
Wow.
So the other method we're going to use is fire roasting the tomatoes. And this one all of you can do. I bet many of you got the 10-inch stainless steel skillet as part of your Fast Track rewards. So my skillet is on the stove. Oh my goodness, it is definitely on the stove and heated up. I have some olive oil in it, and I am just going to be using the close and cut to cut my, guess I'm going to have to put my pan on. Sorry for that. It's a little noisy. So you want to leave it alone. So the only thing that's going to happen there is the tomatoes are cut in half. A little salt and pepper. And really, really, that's it. You don't touch it. You don't do anything. It is just leave your tomatoes alone. So the pan gets heated up first. The olive oil goes in. Your cut tomatoes are there. So again, I'm using the
Plum
what
tomato.
is this called?
Plum tomato.
The
Or
easy
cherry tomato.
rate measuring
Colander.
Hey, you get extra points if you know what the item number is too. So, okay.
It's like that cherry tomato. I never seen a colander that has like holes in it.
Okay, so while you're watching that happen, the other way that you could have done it is you could have sliced your tomatoes thin, put them either on your bar pan or your stoneware bar pan, and roasted them in the oven first. So what happens is the flavor totally changes, and it sweetens up your tomatoes, kind of dries them out, and then your roasted vegetables can be used on making a like focaccia bread pizza. You can use it to be tossed in with cooked pasta. It's wonderful. So on this recipe, Diane has salted the tomatoes, and Louise is chopping up the seeded tomatoes. One more thing, we need cheese. I'm gonna shut off this, just so that it's not as noisy. So for grating the cheese, you can come see me over here. Come on, Portal. Come on, Portal. There you go. All right. So all I'm doing is turning on my blender. Diana made pesto with it. I'm actually grating. I'm going to turn it to the grind
Cheese.
and press start. you believe the Parmesan is grated? Now, if you don't
Wow.
have our deluxe blender, I want you to think two things. One is, have you heard of Vitamixes? If you've heard of Vitamixes, I want you to do your research on what the base price of a Vitamix is and what kinds of functions it has. Our deluxe blender, starting out, even if with the extra smoothie attachment, is less at full price than the Vitamix is on sale. And then you throw in somebody hosting a show, oh my goodness. And all the different functions. Our pitcher is glass, not plastic, and that allows the cooking function to happen. That's why you can make soups, jams, jellies, and a baby food, all kinds of things because of the ability to cook and make soup in it. So I grated my Parmesan that way. We also have that, our micro planer. The one thing I try to explain to people is this about pressing in the side. Just put your thumb there and press it in so that you can close it. 90% of the time, I cut it this way, I grate this way. And when I go to put it away, storage, it goes flat so it doesn't get stuck in the drawer. Fresh cheese is best. If there's anything you're going to do for your customers, it's to tell them how you save money and it's better for your health to cook with fresh ingredients. Pre-grated cheese that you get in a bag has a preservative and something in it to prevent it from clumping. That item, if you look at the bag, is usually cellulose. If you don't know what that is, it's a fancy word for sawdust. And although it is edible, it is not recommended. And
Did you hear that? It's
flavor
sawdust and cheese.
is not as great.
Oh,
So my last thing is Louise needed some mozzarella cheese. So I'm going to do a little bit of that for her using, look at that. Isn't that, it just comes out. And the word that I want you all to remember is the word investment. Investing in high quality kitchen tools pays for itself in the long run because not only are you saving time, saving money, it's better for you. They say, for the cost, Louise was talking about that wonderful double burner grill pan and press. For the cost of going out with your family 2, 3, 4 times for dinner, you've paid for the double burner grill pan and press.
Mhm.
It is, so now I'm going to take a quick look. If you can see what's been happening to my tomatoes, they're getting charred. The water has come out of them and they're ready to be an ingredient on the pizza. So now I think we go back. Can you guys help me? Are we flipping back to Diana or are we flipping back to Louise?
I think
Louise.
it's the cheese.
Oh, I did the cheese.
Yeah, me and the cheese. All right. So Marie, thank you so much for grating my cheese through the magic of Zoom. I have it right here. That really was helpful. Thank you so very much. So in the meantime, what I have done is I flipped my pizza crust over. Now I do want to point out, if you have a small burner on one side and a larger burner on the other side, like I do, then you have to rotate halfway through so that you're going to have even cooking. Otherwise, obviously one side is going to be cooked more. I just want to show you guys. Can you see how nice and golden brown my crust is? It looks
good.
amazing and it smells super good. So now at this point, while the underside cooks, you add your 8 ounces of the grated mozzarella cheese. I have mine here in my 4-cup Easy Read measuring cup. And this is sort of going to act like the glue for the other ingredients. And while the bottom side is cooking, then the cheese starts melting on the top. All right, now we can go back to Diana to finish up what she's doing, and then we'll come back to me to do the toppings.
I got that wonderful grill pan in my box that I spent $40 for.
Woo, woo.
I
Oh,
know.
you got the older
exciting.
one.
I'm muted, so are you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay! I want to tell you that one thing that I used a lot are these prep bowls. So I think every kitchen needs at least one set. These are the 1 cup prep bowls. They come as a set of 6 with lids. I don't have my lid right in front of me. Well, guess what? I had the feta in the larger 2 cup one. One wise woman on our team, her name is Anna, always says that everything is better with feta, right? So
Oh, yeah.
isn't that true? So what we're doing, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I'm using the pizza peel. And this is just Pillsbury pie crust that you unroll. It's easy, you can make your own crust, but you know what? This is so good. And by the time you put all the fresh ingredients on it, it tastes so homemade. So what was that semi-homemade is basically what I'm showing you. What I did was I took some of the pesto. This is the ready-made. I don't know if you can see it. There it is in there. And then what I'm going to do with this, because we didn't need all this, is I'm going to go ahead and freeze it in little containers. I'm not even sure if we still sell it. But it was the these things. We still have this. Somebody help me.
No, we don't.
We don't have this anymore. See, that's the power. Things go in and things go out. If you see something you like here now, now's the time to get it because it might change, right? So what I did was put tomatoes on paper towels and I used just salt. And this is our salt grinder. And we have a pepper, a whole set. And I'm going to tell you, this too is something that you're going to want because you can measure or change the coarseness of the salt and pepper for whatever recipe you're doing. So I don't know if you can see this, just kind of hold it and twist. And there it comes out. So I salted the tomatoes.
I have the old.
And then paper toweled them, and you're supposed to put these halved grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, whatever you have, all over the top. And then what we're going to do is top it with more feta. So we're going to put some more feta on it. And I'm going by memory. So excuse me if I'm doing a step out of line. I got a little, I have to tell you, so we have chickens and we have fresh eggs. So we get eggs all day long. So today I am looking for the eggs that I had set aside for this and I couldn't find it. My husband used it for dinner, of course, right? Tonight of all nights. So I had him go out. And who said? I think Marie just said, always use fresh ingredients. You cannot get any fresher than these eggs. These actually just came in. This one is washed and ready to go. Now I learned this in Home Ec 101 long time ago when I was in high school. Whether you're using farm fresh eggs or eggs from the grocery store, always crack it and put it into a container. The 1 cup container is perfect before you add it in whatever you're cooking to make sure that the egg is good. The worst thing is you get through your whole recipe and find that you're adding the 8th egg into whatever it is you're cooking, and then all of a sudden that 8th egg just ruined that whole batch. So that's a little tip that you may want to implement when you are doing it. So this is just a little bit of egg and water. It's going to be an egg wash. So once we put all the tomatoes on, I'm gonna top it with our pantry Italian seasoning. Again, our seasonings are all pretty much gluten-free. I think there's only a couple that are not. And no, it's right in front of me. Yeah, here it is, the Italian seasoning. And we're gonna go ahead and top it with this. Hope you can see. Okay, just gonna, I'm not measuring. I know I should be, but I'm not. And then thank you, Marie, for your Parmesan cheese. I have that right here. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit on top because I think that just adds a little bit more flavor and a little bit more absorption of the tomatoes. Then all you do is you take these sides and bring them up. And I can't do it standing in midair. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this and fold it over. And then I'll show you. It's so fast, it's so easy. Now think of this, guys. So the next person who wants to have a party, think of what kind of filling you would like to have on here. This is the flakiest crust. It could be sweet, it could be savory. You can add anything you want to this. I think Marie was going to use mozzarella cheese when she makes it because that's what she had. So you can really do anything you want. But we were going with a recipe that Marie found, and we figured this is a great show recipe. And honestly, I believe it is. So basically, you see how what I did? I just kind of pinched it all up. It's so simple. It's so simple. And then what we're going to do is just take the egg wash and wash the sides of it, or using the silicone basting brush that Louise was talking about earlier. Yeah, and I think you need actually 2 in your kitchen because one will always be in the dishwasher and you need one ready to go, right? So go ahead and do that. We're going to pour some more Italian seasoning on the crust and a little more Parmesan. So Anna says everything's better with with feta. I say everything's better with Parmesan, right? Parmesan and garlic, you can't go wrong.
Mhm.
Right? And there
Right.
we go, a little bit more seasoning on it. And I am going to take you over to the stove. I'm not sure I can do this without, see if I could turn around. I can turn you around. Yeah, here we go. So we're going to come on over to the stove. And what I have in here is our stone. So the beauty of our new stoneware, and we don't have that anymore either, but I just love these little silicone things, is that you can preheat the stove. There it is. It's ready. It's hot and ready to go. I am going to put this down for 1 second. Maybe we could turn it back over to Louise for a minute while I get this onto the stone. All right, because it's a pie crust, I need 2 hands to do it and not just one. So let's turn it back to
Okay.
Louise for a minute.
We got it.
All right. All right, so my cheese is now nice and melted and the bottom part of my crust is done cooking. So I just like to use the chef tongs to take it out. And these are great, you guys, because you know, some of these tongs you get from other stores, you have to like pull a little thing to get them to close. Ours is when they're up, they're closed, down, squeeze, they'll open. Get it? Up, squeeze, closed, down, squeeze, open. Takes a little bit of practice to get used to it, but once you do, you'll love these because they'll stay closed and they won't be in your cutlery drawer open or in your little rack thing all open, taking up space. So now all I gotta do is put this on my cutting board. It's so nice and crispy, as you can see, right? Delicious. And now we're gonna go, I'm gonna let that sit there. I'm gonna move you back over here and I'm going to get the toppings ready. All right. So through the magic of Zoom, I have the chopped tomatoes from Marie. Thanks so much. You made my life so much easier chopping those for me. Now, I have these in our small batter bowl. The batter bowls do come in 2 sizes, and they are a necessity. You've got to have batter bowls. What I love about our batter bowls is how nice and easy they nest together. The measurements are etched on, so they're not going to ever rub off. So what we need now is some chopped olives. So I'm going to use our smooth edge can opener. Now I call this can opener the magic can opener because after 16 years, I still don't know how it works. My husband has tried to explain it to me numerous times. I still don't know how it actually cuts. So I tell all my customers, don't think about it. Don't try looking to where to put it or trying to figure it out. I tell my customers, put the can in front of you, but the can opener up to it, turn to your right, it'll automatically attach, go around. You'll feel a loosening. Sometimes you'll hear a little pop. Your lid will not fall into your food, which is going to contaminate your food. Because let's face it, oh, I didn't tell you how to get it off. To get it off, you go one way, the opposite way. Now, what I love about this is my lid did not fall into my food to contaminate it, because I don't know about you, but I'm not washing the lids of all my cans. And you know, this can has been in a warehouse with little rodents and all sorts of little critters crawling on it. It's been in the grocery store with 100 people touching it. I mean, I know you're probably supposed to wash it all, but I don't. So my lid does not appear to be open. You gotta use what I refer to as the birdie beak, right here on the side, the little pinchers, and you just put that on there and you pull up, whoop, and I don't know if you can see that, but you actually can see the glue. So it's separating the glue from the lid to the can. How it works, I don't know, people. After 16 years, I can't tell you. If you look really close here, there are no little teeth. So there's no, this doesn't actually go into your food. So you're not going to have any food debris harboring bacteria on here either. You're not going to cross-contaminate. My cat food isn't going into my olives. That's a good thing, right? Also, you're not going to have any sharp edges, hence the name, smooth edge can opener. All right, now, I only need a half a cup of these little guys, and I'm going to use the little can strainer, and I'm just going to strain it right in here. So what I like about this is it can go like a little hat over the top of the can, and we're going to strain right all the juices out. But if I was using a great big old can of tuna, this can just go in the can of tuna and you can squeeze it to strain it. So it can be used either way, as a little hat or on the inside. All right, so I'm going to use an old school product now, you guys. The food chopper. I love this thing. Well, the manual food processor is still my favorite, but sometimes you just need the good old fashioned food chopper. So typically with the food chopper, you would chop on your cutting board like this, right? Now, for things like smaller things, like I'm going to do olives and especially jalapeno peppers, I just chop in the cap like this. I remove it this way. Did you see what I did? Typically, if you're going to do onions, the onions go on the cutting board, chop, 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 chop. But instead for jalapeno peppers, because they're small nuts, I do this way. And I'm going to do my black olives this way as well. So I need a half a cup. So this right here comes in our measuring cup set. So I like these because you get a whole array of them, and you get like a weird one that most don't have.
An eighth?
A third,
The 3
You get
tablespoons.
a third, a fourth, a half, 2/3. You get a 2/3 and a cup. Most measuring cups don't come with the 2/3. All right, so I need a half a cup, and I'm gonna do them all at the same time. Also, this right here is, for those that don't know, 2 holes, 2 prongs. They just go together like this. They're also great, can go in the dishwasher. All right. This is a great stress reliever. You're mad at your husband, you had a rough day at work, the kids are driving you crazy. I don't know, whatever it is. Get rid of aggression. All right. So those are all already nice and chopped up. Let me grab my one little thing I forgot is my little small mini mix and scraper. All right, we're gonna add the chopped olives to those tomatoes. There you go. Next, we need some sugar. I need a half a teaspoon of sugar. So I'm just gonna use our measuring spoons right here, and this is a half a teaspoon. I need 1 teaspoon of red wine vinegar. So I got the 1 teaspoon here. Oh, there we go. And 1 teaspoon of oil. Let me get the oil in there. All right. Final ingredient is, well, actually I forgot the garlic. So we already had a little tutorial about the garlic peeler and the garlic press, and I wanted to talk a little bit about garlic. So when you buy your garlic, you want to make sure that you're buying your garlic clove in a nice tight bunch. You don't want it all loose. You want it like real whitey tighty, as Marie always says. And you also want it to have a hairy bottom. So I learned that from Marie as well. So look at my garlic. It's got a very hairy bottom. So then you know it came from the United States, and it's going to be a nice, good, fresh garlic. So you do not need to peel your garlic prior to using our garlic press. You put it in there with the skin on, and I've got 2 smallish garlic cloves. They'll fit in there, and you just press. Like Diane said, you have to have a garlic, and then it comes with what I call the Barbie brush. Perfect little brush for a little Barbie, but you want to use this side. You do not want to use your knife, and I'll tell you why. If you use your knife to scrape that off, then you are going to totally remove this coating. It's got this powder coating, I think it's called. So if you use your knife, you're going to mar it up, and then before long, your bottom of your garlic press is going to look horrible. So this all goes into your dishwasher. The little brushy part, you can just push through, and it'll push through the garlic skin, or you can just use this also to like pop it out. So you've actually never had to touch the garlic, because once you get garlic on your fingers, oh my gosh, it's hard to get rid of that. All right, next thing is we need some fresh basil. Don't be stingy with the basil, you guys. You want a lot of basil. The recipe calls for 1/4 of a cup of loosely packed basil. I don't even know what 1/4 of a cup loosely packed basil means. I just pull off what I think looks like an appropriate amount. The recipe says to put it in your 1 cup prep bowl and snip with your kitchen shears, which is a great way to do it. You could also put it in our, this is what I usually use, is our herb mill. So like cilantro, I put in the herb mill, or you can do what I'm going to do right now, and it's called a chiffonade. So for those that don't know what that means, you just line your basil up on top of each other in like a little stack, and then you just roll it up like you would a cigar or a tortilla or whatever. Just roll it on up, and grab my knife. I'll talk about my knife in a second. And then all you do is you choke up on your knife. I'm using the Santoku knife, and you just make little slits, little cuts, slivers, whatever it's called. And then you have like, I don't know if you can see. Can you see what I got? Little thin strips of the basil. I'm gonna add a little bit more to mine. I like a lot of basil. So that's called a chiffonade. You just roll it up and cut it up. Now, the Santoku knife, you guys, oh my goodness. So we have 2 different knife collections. This one is the creme de la creme, this one right here. So this collection, the forged knives, have a lifetime guarantee. The Santoku knife has these little grantins on here, if you can see the little divots, if you will. And that is to help your food from not sticking. It causes a little air pocket between your food and the knife's blade so that your food won't stick to it. It's full tang, which means that from the tip all the way to the handle, it's 1 piece of metal. You guys, this is a great knife. Now, a little tip is your knives really should not go in the dishwasher. You need to hand wash your knives. And that also goes for our color coded knives. You want to make sure to
And that's
hand
really
wash
good
them
one.
and not put them in the dishwasher. Final ingredient we need is some S&P. So I'm gonna start with the pepper. This is our peppercorn medley that we sell. I know Diana just talked about this, but look guys, look how easy it is to fill it up. Look how big that hole is. Our old ones, you had to get the funnel out to fill them. This, you can just dump your salt and your pepper right in there.
I have the old set.
Yeah, I love the bamboo on them, but this is so much better. And don't look at the amount of salt I just stick in there, but I like salt. All right, I'm just gonna finish this up because this is so easy. There's nothing left to it. Let me grab my pizza crust from over here. Now, if I was using the chicken sausage like the recipe called for, I would now slice up cook the chicken sausage, obviously, slice it up, put it on there. But this right here, we're just going to sprinkle this delicious goodness. I wish you all could smell it because I am getting garlic and basil. Smells good. Now, this is called a Mediterranean pizza. So I personally agree with Anna and I say feta. More feta, the better. So I would be adding feta to this on the top because I love salt. And we all know how salty feta cheese can be, right?
Mhm.
So this, I want to just cut it for you guys real fast so you can hear the crunch. Because when you grill it on the grill pan like that, you get such an amazing crunch from the pizza. Hold on. Can y'all see how good this looks? Well, I think it looks good. I don't know about you guys. All right, so y'all listen. Listening?
Ooh.
Again. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be good. Okay, wait, let me just cut a little piece right here.
Is this still the magic of Zoom where we get to taste it?
Yes, taste.
Mm.
All right, Diana, back to you.
Looks good.
I'll let you know. Did you hear that?
Yeah. And crunch. I have to try
Yum.
that pan.
Oh, she's muted. No? Is it not? You should be able to unmute. No, no. Oh my goodness, Diana, hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out. Let's see, Diana. Well, your one is, oh no, asked to unmute. Did it? Okay, go ahead. Is it letting you? No?
Computer. I can use that one.
Okay.
Now I'm unmuted on both. Let me. Okay, is that?
You're not unmuted on this one.
Am I good? I
Yeah, I
shut
hear
my
you.
computer
Yeah.
down. That might just be better. So a couple things that I wanted to show you while mine is still cooking is there's a couple different ways to make the pesto. I love doing it in our deluxe cooking blender. I think that's a power horse. I think that once people get it in their kitchen, they're going to love it. It's so different, like Marie said, from anything else because it has temperature controls to it too. So when it does the cooking, it is actually cooking and not just heating up. So it's easy to clean. I love it. But another way you can do it is using the manual food processor too. Same thing, you would just put your basil, the oil, your pine nuts, garlic, put it all in there and just pump away. It's another spinning class, right? Just pump it away. It's faster and easier, obviously, in the cooking blender, but it can be done in the food processor too. So many different things can go in here. You're chopping things together, incorporating the food, and it's easy to bring anywhere. If you have a camper or an RV or something like that, it's a great tool to take along with you on a road trip. Make your fresh guacamole and salsa all together. The second thing that I wanted to tell you is using what I put in on top of the pizza was 2 tablespoons of pesto. So the small stainless steel scoop, we have 3 different sizes, it's about a tablespoon. So 2 scoops of this, 1 scoop of mayonnaise, mix the pesto and mayonnaise together, spread it on top of the pie crust. And then, as I said, put the feta on, and then a layer of tomatoes and some Parmesan, a little bit more feta, and top it off with some Italian seasoning. How I slice the tomatoes, you can use one of our great knives, just like Louise said, or I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if I can push it down a little bit. The quick, it's suction cups. I can get it up. This. So all you do is put your tomato in, and I'll show you really quickly. And I have it on the flat setting, and I think it's on number 4, which I thought was a nice slice for what we were using. So you just put your tomato in, and guess what? There are some of these things out on the market that you can't do a tomato because it will squish, right? How nice.
Ooh.
They sliced. Not one of them is squished. That's a cooking jar. Just like so. And here we have all tomatoes, which I'll just store and
Ooh.
save for tomorrow, right? Look at beautiful cuts. So if you're having, a barbecue or something, you can slice up your tomatoes in no time. You can do onions in it. You can do anything you want. Potatoes for French fries. What else? I don't know. There's a lot of different settings in the back, and you can, find your settings. Have fun with it. It's going to cut your vegetables so fast and easy, and it folds down for easy storage. And I think you're going to love it. Goes in the dishwasher too. The other thing that I did too is I also used the rolling pin to roll out the crust a little bit. You don't really have to roll it out too much because the Pillsbury one is already about a 12-inch. But if you are doing your own, you want to roll it out. And what I love, and I used to bring it to all my shows when I was doing live shows. Let me see if I could turn this around. Is this our pastry mat? Sometimes I would bring that, whether I was doing a pastry or not. Sometimes I'll use it at home, whether I'm doing it or not, just use it and use it as a work surface. So it keeps your counters nice and clean. And you can just roll it up, bring it over to the sink, and boom, you're done, and your counters will stay clean. I think everybody needs it, especially if you have children and they play with Play-Doh or anything like that. It's a great thing. But let's go ahead and go check on the pie. I'm not sure whether it is done. It hasn't really been in there long enough, but let's go take a look. Get one of our...
Diana.
Yeah?
With the Rapid Prep mandolin, do you have to cut the onions or tomatoes in half in order to use it, or can you put them in whole?
Whole. I put it in whole.
Okay.
Yep. And there it is. I think it needs a little bit more time, but it's looking good. So
It is looking good.
it's looking good. I like the crust a little bit lighter, you know, a little bit fluffier or darker, I should say. And that's it. We're just gonna let that cook a little bit longer. And I think that's a wrap for now. Any questions?
Yeah.
Good job. I wish we're there. I want that magic of Zoom so that I could be there.
I wish you were here too, because it smells so good.
I could just imagine.
Oh, dear. Soon, my friends.
She's doing pizza.
Hi, Maria's
Yeah,
thing.
your favorite.
Her, but where did she go? Okay, hold
No,
on.
no. But are we still recording?
Portal. Yes, we are still recording. Hold on. I'm trying to get Marie. Hold on. I don't know where the heck she went.
Maybe
I
her.
gotta find Jim's portal, but I don't see Jim's portal. Where did that go?
I don't know.
Are you sure, Marie? Jim's portal's gone. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Oh, you know, I don't know.
Here
who
I
asked
am.
about the tomatoes, but
Okay.
I
I
was
don't
using raw-
mute anybody. I don't know why it keeps muting like that.
It
And
must be the setting that you have, Patty.
No.
Maybe accidentally.
No,
I
it says it says allow participants to unmute themselves.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I wasn't able to, but
Okay.
But I
So
wanted
what-
to say real quick before I don't think I'm silenced yet. No. The tomato question again, I was using Roma tomatoes, so they fit perfectly into the rapid prep mandolin.
Okay.
A whole, you know, big round tomato, you would probably need to cut that down.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I don't know if this was too ambitious to do two different kinds of pizza. If going forward, it makes it easier to just choose one over the other. But we wanted to give you guys the opportunity to see pizza two different ways. I think the grilled recipe Louise did, that's a Pampered Chef recipe. If you have the double burner grill pan or the deluxe electric grill and griddle, it's a great show recipe. But tomato galette is a little bit different than a normal pizza. So if you're looking for something a little bit fancier, and that technique is great with pie filling as well. The last thing, do you guys want to learn how to make a tomato rose? I mean, if you're using Roma tomatoes in either recipe, this is a recipe that you could make a tomato rose with. So yes, thumbs up. You want to
Of
see it?
course. Yes,
Okay.
of course.
If I do it, so first of all, your tomato knife, best $16 any customer can buy from you. I think it's number 1509. It is a must in your kitchen. If I go right here, will Portal follow me? Let me see. Portal, come over here. Or do I need to come closer to you? Maybe I need to come closer to you, but if I do it right here, you're not going to see me. So, okay.
It's showing
So
you.
the most important cut is the very first one. So you need a sharp knife, tomato knife. It is red. You can't forget that it is for tomatoes. So the first cut is a flap. There we go. The first cut is a flap. That's the one that is the deal breaker. So now all I'm going to do is go around my tomato using a saw-in motion. So you don't have, it's not pushing. I'm actually going kind of back and forth. And yes, I'm trying to just take the skin of the tomato and not get the meat with it. And this technique obviously shows off the fact that you have a sharp knife. A sharp knife is less dangerous in the kitchen than a dull knife. People get cut on dull knives all the time, and investing in good knives is a necessity. I don't, and it's just a matter of what knife do you need to add to your collection. So now, once it is done and your tomato is seated, the same kind of thing can be done with a peach or a plum. So all I'm going to do is, like it was in the real world, I am rolling it up back to that very first flap. So if you can see my tomato rose, can you see my tomato rose? And then your basil is your tomato leaf. Ah, whoops. Let's start all over again. It's really easy to do. The looser you roll it up, the more like an opened rose it will be. The tighter you roll it up, the more like a bud. So there we go. Take two. Maybe I should put it. Take two. Oh, there we go again. Slide down. All right, I'm just going to put it in my hand. There it is. In my hand. Put the basil leaf with it. There you go. So try this at home. Try it with a plum. Try it with a peach. Try it with a tomato. You are going to become an expert. The number one thing is the knife. And when I do cooking shows, I always love doing a little garnish like this. The chiffonade that Louise did, that tip, or a tomato rose or a peach rose, plum rose. I think people, it's called edutainment. So they listen because they're learning, like the hairy bottom on the garlic proves that the garlic was grown in the United States, because the law is that if something is imported, you can't bring dirt over international lines. So the garlic that comes from China or Mexico, the root has to be scalloped off the bottom of the garlic.
Oh.
So you will never find a root on a foreign grown head of garlic. So those little tips have people listening and learning at your show, but then you're throwing in investing in a garlic press, why garlic is great for you, why fresh is best. And in the long run, people pay. If you don't realize it, look up how much money people pay to take a cooking class. When they host a Pampered Chef show, it's like they're hosting a cooking class. All of their friends could come for free. And if they invest the $80 that it might have cost them to take the class, they're going to go home not only with great products that they can use for the rest of their life, but a free gift with purchase, right? And if you do it in person, everybody gets to help cook and taste and eat. So that's it. I say have fun in the kitchen, play with your food. And the great thing is when you try recipes like this, your family gets to be the guinea pig, and you can write off your grocery bill for experimenting with the new recipes. So that's all I have, Patty. You can take me off a spotlight. We can stop the recording, answer questions if anybody has any.
I'm gonna get it out.